Welcome, family, to Sherry's Kitchen. For those who don't know me, my name is Sherry, and some call me Nana, and some call me Mama D. You know, you're all welcome at my kitchen, so come on in. This is our second class in our condiment series. So today, we're going to be doing ketchup. So which one is it going to be? Homemade ketchup or the one you buy in the store? We need to look at what's in it so we know how to make a better choice. Okay? All right. Let's look at what's in it. Okay? So I'm going to read the ingredients on the back of the label and we're going to see what's in this stuff. Okay? It says tomato concentrate, high fructose corn syrup, and corn syrup, distilled vinegar, salt, less than 2% of spice, onion powder, and natural flavors. You know, I didn't know till years ago what natural flavors really were. So when you see natural flavors, run. So we're going to look at some of the other ingredients in this ketchup. Most of the time when you buy condiments, there are a lot of questionable ingredients in them. But we're going to focus today on the sugar content because a lot of people love ketchup because it has sugar in it. So one serving of ketchup is 1 tablespoon. And in that 1 tablespoon is 4 grams of sugar, of the corn syrup and the high fructose corn syrup. 4 grams of that is that sugar. And you know how much that is? 1 gram of sugar is, 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. So in a tablespoon, you have 3 teaspoons. So 1 of those teaspoons is sugar. This recipe that I'm going to share with you can also be canned. I did this last fall, and it's now something I can pull from my shelf and have ready-made ketchup. So you don't have to just store the ketchup in the refrigerator. You can also can it for future use. So we're going to look at the ingredients in this particular recipe, okay? And then we're going to start a recipe right after that soon. Okay, it calls for 2 pounds of organic red tomatoes, a half a cup of water, 2/3 cup of organic coconut sugar, a half a cup of honey, a half a cup of lemon juice, a 1/4 cup of the cultured pickle brine. Now that's optional. If you do not use the pickle brine, you double up on your lemon juice. 2 teaspoons of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of curry powder, which I use my homemade, or turmeric. So that would be easier for you to just use turmeric. A half a teaspoon of what we call pepper-like seasoning. It's by Vegetarian Express. 6 tablespoons of organic tomato paste, 2 bay leaves, and 2 teaspoons of Cajun season, which is another one I do on my own recipe, or you can just use 1 teaspoon of cayenne, and that too is optional. The recipe that I just shared with you will be in the description box below, okay? So we're going to get started on our recipe. Now today I'm going to be using a crock pot, but mostly I use is my Instant Pot on the slow cooker setting. Okay, so today we're going to use this. Okay, so you already have the amounts in the description box of the recipe. So I'm going to now add all of these things to the crock pot, and this is why it's a very simple recipe, because it's one of those recipes where you just put everything into one pot. Okay, so this is our tomatoes. Now, because it's not tomato season, I am using the canned diced tomatoes. Okay, and so that's 1 large can of canned diced tomatoes. And then the next thing, the recipe says to add the water, but I usually hold the water back till it's all done, because with the canned tomatoes, you have a lot of water in the can already from the juices from the tomatoes. So we're going to hold that until the end, okay? Then we're going to put in our organic coconut sugar. Alrighty. Now, with the sugar, even though it's a more natural and healthier sugar because it has fiber in it, you can still alter that. You can either leave it out, reduce it, And you have total control of the ingredients in this particular recipe. Okay? So the next thing we're going to use is our honey. Now, you can use honey or agave syrup or another sweetener of your choice. Again, this is optional. So we're going to put that in next. Get it all out. Then we're going to put in our lemon juice. My lemon juice looks a little brown because it's an organic lemon juice in a bottle. Okay, so we're going to put that in. Now, normally I usually use the cultured pickle brine, but I didn't have any today. So what I did was I doubled up on my lemon juice. Next, I'm going to put in the onion powder, the garlic powder, the turmeric, the Cajun seasoning, and the pepper-like seasoning. All of that is all in here, all your seasonings, and all that's going to go in. Then we also are going to put in our tomato paste, 3 tablespoons. I forgot to say, this recipe we're doing half of a recipe. So you don't need to do a whole recipe. You can do whatever, how much you need. But if you're going to can it, you might as well do a whole recipe. Then we're going to put in our salt. Don't want to forget that. I'm using the Himalayan pink salt. And then we're going to put in our bay leaves. I'm going to put in 2. Even though the recipe says to use for half would be 1 bay leaf, I'm going to use 2. And that's one thing about this recipe is that you can put more seasonings of the ones that you like. You can alter the seasonings and the sweetener, okay? And that's not a problem, okay? So now we're going to just mix it all up until it's all come together. And remember how many bay leaves you put in there, because that's going to be the next thing, is when it's over, when it's done, you're going to have to fish those out before you do the blending process. So this is going to be slow cooked for 8 or more hours. And so you can let this go overnight, and I will show you what the finished product is as soon as we finish with this. So this is a crock pot. So we're going to put the lid on it, and we're going to turn the crock pot to low or medium. Medium if you have it on your crock pot, okay? Or again, your Instant Pot, put it on medium, okay? So don't go away too far. We're going to show you the finished product. Alrighty, this is the result after 10 hours in the slow cooker. This particular one was done in the Instant Pot on the slow cooking setting, okay? So if you have either one, they'll work perfectly, alrighty? So remember I said that we need to know how many bay leaves we put into our ingredients. So we did 2. So we want to make sure we take them out at this time because we are going to blend the rest of the ingredients, and we don't want to have blended bay leaf, okay? So now we're going to use our hand mixer. Now, if you don't have a handheld blender, you can use a regular tabletop blender. That would work just as fine, okay? So let's get this one going. And we're going to go a little bit faster on the speed here. Oops, too much. All right, she's all blended up now and creamy. See how creamy that is? And you can even leave it a little chunky if you like chunky sauce. Okay, and it was so perfect that I didn't need to add the extra water. So right now at this point, we can bottle it into jars and can it, which is another session on canning. So right now, we're going to just put this in a jar, and I'll see you when it's all done. Now we have our finished product, nice and creamy. You can put it in a ketchup bottle like this and serve it when you have your outdoor activities, or you can have it in a jar and can it. So let's see how creamy it is. So see how nice and creamy it is? And that's what it looks like in the jar. Now let's see how it comes out of this ketchup bottle. There we go. Alrighty, so either way, you can have it spoon it on some things or squirt it on some things. And so here we have our finished second condiment in our series. Our next condiment is going to be on mustard, okay? So if you are interested in this and many others that we're having, please touch the like, the share, the subscription, and touch that notification bell so that you will be aware of when the next video comes up, okay? So thank you for coming into my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you soon, friends and family. Bye-bye.